Hi, good evening everyone, and welcome to the hands on workshop of Reality Hack 2.0, a hackathon under the Project Learn, a reskill and spark AR initiative aiming at upskilling tech enthusiasts on emerging AR tech with the help of workshops and hackathons and building a highly engaged Spark AR community. Through these workshops, you would be taught how to build AR effects on Spark AR Studio with the features that enhance the experience of Facebook and Instagram users. My name is Askar Khan, and before we start the workshop, I'd run you through a small presentation to share the purpose, flow, application, and benefits of being a part of this program. As I mentioned, Project Learn aims at helping you kickstart your career in the domain of augmented reality by training you in the technology. The program structure is divided into three broad stages. In the first phase, we'll walk you through Spark AR Studio and teach you how to create your first AR effect from scratch, which involves importing assets, canvas, face tracking, patch editor, and generating test link. In the second phase, we'll move a step further, teaching you about advanced filters and share with you Spark AR policies before you finally submit your AR effect. Submission of your effect will get you a meta certification, access to resources that will help you prepare for the hackathon. In the final phase, we'll host hackathons at your college level and at pan India level. You will be rewarded and recognized for your efforts and contributions. Before we move further, I will quickly introduce Sparkia Studio to you all. Sparkia Studio is a tool used by global community of creators and brands to create and share AR experiences using Facebook family of apps. And augmented reality is an interactive experience which digitally enhances what can be seen, heard, and touched in the real world. At the moment, we have over 600 million people using AR on Meta apps. To give you a brief insight on how AR is being used worldwide, we have all come across these face filters on Instagram where we can add a mask on our face. This is done using the face tracking capability. IKEA, the popular Swedish chain of home furnishing stores, uses AR to help their customers choose the right furniture for their home through the world tracking capability. Similarly, while QR codes are now normal to scan, we are also able to scan pamphlets and business cards using target tracking. Similarly, body and hand tracking, the latest capability introduced, offers utility for fashion and e commerce brands, allowing users to try on an outfit digitally before they click purchase. These are a few effects I am sure some of you have tried using, like changing of hair color when you scream or a phone call from a celebrity. AR also plays an impressive role in escalating your gamifying experience by mapping effects with facial expressions, gestures, and head movements. AR has played a crucial role during the pandemic in bringing the world to your drawing room by emphasizing on a moment, making the content much more interactive, enjoyable, and memorable. Having said this, what happens to the effect I have created? Well, the effect can be published on your Instagram user page, in the stories section, in the reels, and guess what? Your effect is available to the audience worldwide to use and experience. A pertinent question that arises is, how does this program help me professionally? There are various ways in which you can use your AR effects to your advantage. You can monetize on the platform by building interactive AR effects for brands and creators. You can become an AR UX researcher, AR developer, educator. You can leverage AR in your career by identifying and solving problems. You can also take the augmented reality career further into learning VR and XR. With so many advantages, both immediate and long term, I am sure you all will make the most of these workshops. We had shared a download link for Sparkia Studio with you in the email. I hope you have downloaded it. In case you haven't, please do it before we begin the session. I would now like to introduce the mentor for the session, Ms. Rupal Mittal. Rupal is an AR creator since last 2 years and has created some amazing AR effects during her journey. She was also a campus ambassador at Reskill and a Spark AR campus ambassador program in 2021. Hi Rupal.
Hi, Askar. Thank you for the introduction. Hello everyone. I'm Rupal Mittal, mentor at the Learn Initiative by Reskill in Meta. I am currently working as a software engineer at JP Morgan Chase & Co. Today, I'm going to guide you guys on basically how to get started on your journey with Spark AI Studio and make your first AR effects. So, just a little housekeeping before we start the session. If you have any doubts or if you want to just write any, say anything, so just post them in the comment section and I can take them up in the last, like in the Q&A. So, we'll start with like what is augmented reality or AR as we say. So, uh, like anyone would like to share what they understand by AR, augmented reality in the comments? Okay. So I'll say, in simple words, augmented reality is the real time use of information in the form of text, graphics, and other virtual enhancements integrated with real world objects. So, like what we call filters on Instagram and Facebook, where we add digital components to real world objects or a live view. Now, I'm going to start with talking about what Spark AI Studio is and what it is used for. Some of it, of course, Askar has covered, but yeah, I'll just keep it very brief. Spark AI Studio is basically an augmented reality platform for Mac and Windows that helps make the process of developing interactive augmented reality apps, effects more accessible. So you can basically build filters and effects and publish them on Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger for users to use worldwide. So the tool is very user friendly, and I don't think you need like prior coding knowledge to get started with it. But yeah, we'll like in the hands-on session we'll learn more on how we can use the concepts and capabilities of the same. That's just a brief about Sparkia Studio, and now without any further ado, I'll let's get started with the hands-on session. I'll be quickly sharing my screen. And before that, I hope you all have Spark AI Studio installed on your systems. And if not, we'll just share the download link, and you can put it on download as I speak and tell you about the basics. So yeah, just give me a minute. Okay. So I think my screen is visible. Oscar, can you please confirm once? Okay. So I hope my screen is visible. That's it. Now, without any further ado, we'll just get started with the software. So this is the first screen that comes up when you open Spark AI Studio. So right here, you can see there are a few predefined templates that you can use as a beginner if you're starting, like making your first AI effects. And yeah, so you can use these firstly to demonstrate various features and capabilities. I'll just be using a blank project right here. Yeah. So this is the first screen when you open up a blank project. So I'll tell you about what all you see on your screen. So this can be a little overwhelming at times when you see all these stuff right here. So I'll quickly be demonstrating like one by one what all these things are. So right in the middle of my screen, as you can see, so this is the viewport. So whatever components that we have in the scene panel here in the right in the left section of my screen, so it's the scene panel. So here are all the components that we have, and in the viewport, so if I say click on device, so you can see the blue lines right here, right? So whatever component I click on, it gets highlighted here. So if you can see, if I click on a directional light for example, so you can see these this component being highlighted on the viewport. So this is about the viewport. Next up, you can see a phone like structure right here. It's basically a simulator. So whatever components you add on your effects, you can just see how it would basically look like on your mobile devices when you are using this particular effect. So and moreover, you can just change from here. So in your uh, right in your left panel, you can see the video icon here. So there are basically you can also use your own camera, since my camera is in use. So I'm just gonna use this simulator with like this demo. You can just change it as per your wish. So yeah, now as I said, this is the scene panel where we add components. We'll be adding further components when we'll be building an AR effect. Before that, I'll quickly tell you what is on the right panel. So whatever property I click on here, so whatever component I click on in the right panel, in the left panel in the scene, so on the right side of the same, the properties appears. So right here, if you see microphone as a component, so you can see the properties that are associated with the microphone. So here you can disable the mic, or enable it, as like say you want the users, even if they're using an effect, they you don't want when they capture a video or something, the voice should be captured, so you want it to be disabled by default. So you can do that as well via the properties section here. So I'm gonna keep it unchecked by default right here. Now we'll move on to the assets panel. You'll see on the left bottom of my screen the assets panel. So what are assets? Assets are actually uh, like whatever components, textures, materials, external images or things you use inside your effects. So that comes in the assets panel right here. So there's an asset library that you can use. If you click on the asset library here, you'll see there are certain inbuilt uh, assets that Spark AI Studio provides. It's a great a great feature that Spark AI Studio provides, where you have inbuilt 3D objects, music and sound, patch assets, textures, blocks, etc. So these are all the things that are predefined and inbuilt, and you can use inside your effects. You don't have to import anything from your system, and you can just use it as is. Now, you can also import assets from your local system. That is also one of the options. Now further, we'll see, like we'll be importing the assets, and we'll be using the asset library as well. We'll be doing both the things. Firstly, I'll just add one texture so that we can know more about the properties that comes associated with the textures. So right now I'm just gonna use asset library to get one texture. Okay, so yeah, you can use a gallery. So textures are also like of multiple types. What are textures and materials, if we'll say? So a texture is basically an image file that is used to help define the appearance of an object. So here, if we define an object right here in the scene panel, and if we get our texture associated, then yeah, we can use this texture. I'll quickly import one texture from my system to tell you more about the properties. So yeah, I'll take a background image. So right here I have taken one image. So you can see these are the properties that are associated with the texture. We'll talk about these properties listed here. Okay, so right here you can see the type of textures. If you can see, this is a single texture, because if like it's a single image that we have uploaded, right? So if we want to say upload a series of images, say I want to upload 10 images and like make the user background as like different as in you want to showcase like maybe user background at different places, so you can use a texture sequence for the same. So if I'll be using a texture sequence, so I can maybe import two images right here, since I already, yeah, I'll, yeah. So I'll be just importing these two images. Since I already had that image here, that's why it's showing me an error message here. But like you can see in the left bottom panel here, you'll see the text, the sequences like 1 to 2. Or similarly, if you say upload 10 images, so it'll show you 10 images. Yeah, we'll actually not be using this. I'll tell you about more properties. I'll be deleting this and going further the with explaining the properties again. Yeah. So we were talking about the properties, right? So right here, if you can see, we talked about the type. It can be a single texture or it can be a series of images. This is the file size and the dimensions which I've uploaded. We'll talk about the color encoding. So it's like there are two options, linear and sRGB. So basically an image is comprised of four major components. Like red, green, blue, and and the fourth component is alpha that decides the opacity. Right now, if we change to sRGB, you won't be like able to see much difference in the preview, but like when we'll actually use this as a background, you'll see the difference in perspective. So I'll keep it linear as is. And now compression. So this is one of like one of the capabilities that Spark AR has. So basically when you upload any image file, any texture, or anything of that sort, then it it basically compresses according to the user's devices. So it can be an iOS device, it can be an Android device, it can be older Android. So since I uploaded an image which is already like 32 KB, which is very less, say if I want to have an HD image of 5 MB, so it needs to be compressed, right? So what Meta says is like the ideal size of basically an effect, the maximum size, it should be up to 4 MB, right? So if you say upload an image that is like a single image is itself, single texture is itself like 10 MB, so it needs to be compressed because there might be other features, other components that will be adding in your AR effect. So this is one of the things that you should keep in mind. We can actually like manually compress it, or like keep it automatic as in it didn't need any compression, that's why it wasn't doing it, but we can actually manually compress it. So this is all about compressing your textures. Now the different sampling is something that is not used like very much, but we'll talk about it as we make the air effect. Now the tiling modes, since like how it is used is like, say if I have a image which has a very less, like which has very less dimensions, it's like coming up like 1 by 4 on the screen. So if I want it to get repeated, the same very image to actually fit on the screen, on the user's screen like background, so I don't have to actually use it 4 times. I can just use the tiling mode and say it to be repeat. So how many times it has to be repeated to fit it to the exact background, it will do that. So that's about the tiling modes. Now we'll quickly, I think this is more or less what properties that we have for a texture. Now what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna maybe add a mesh. So we'll start by adding objects. Now it's all about telling what all appears on your screen when you open a blank project. Now I'll be telling you what all objects you can add. So we'll you can go right here, this plus button. So this is like for adding objects. So there are various things like a face tracker, plane tracker, target tracker, hand tracker. There are a lot of things, a lot of objects that you can add. So we'll start with adding a face mesh. So if I add a face mesh right here, so you can see like what a face mesh does. It actually it has to track your face, right? Whatever, whenever, wherever the user's face moves, it should track that. So it is taking face tracker as the parent object and face mesh as the child object for the same, right? So if you can see now, we'll move further into the properties of the face mesh. So if you'll see here, if I click on face mesh right here, so what I can do is I can go to materials. I can add a material for the same. You can always change the positioning. If like, since it's a face tracker, you can't, it's tracking according to the face movement of the user, right? But if say I add, like, I go to device and I add an object, uh, I add one more object. I add one more like face mesh. Okay. So it's an individual face mesh. So I just want to show you the difference between if we add a face mesh as a child component of the face tracker, or if we add it as is like a individual component. So if I can see, so you can see, right, if the user is even making a movement, the above me face mesh, it's not tracking according to the user's face. So that is like it's like an individual static component that you're seeing. So I'll remove this for now and we'll go with this. So what you can do is, by default it is coming up like checkboxes right here. So you can add a material for the same. So if I added a material, so it's, you can see in the asset panel, you can see the materials right here. So the associated material with this face mesh is material 0, right? So when I click on it, we'll go to materials. We can right click and rename it as mm, user mesh mat. Okay. So when you click on this, you can see the properties associated with the same. So what a material does is like it basically adds more details and capabilities to your textures. So if you're using a texture, so you can use a texture, right? So I'll be showing both the ways. So first, what we can do is we can add a color, like simple. We can just change colors of this face mesh right here. You can play around, change the colors, or just keep it white as is. Now we can also choose a texture. So the material will add additional details and capabilities to this texture. So if I say I added a demo background, right? So if I add this, so you can see it got added as you know as as the as face mesh material, like the texture got added on the face mesh. So this is what you can do with the face mesh. You can add like further details to it as you wish, like. So this is one of the components that we added. Now what we can do is, like, since our there are three themes that we have. So there's superhero theme, there's friendship day theme, and there's independence day theme, that is India at the rate 75 for reality hack 2.0. So what you can do is, like, you can, of course, it's as per your choice. You can select any and make whatever effect you wish, like. But today we'll just take India at the rate 75 independence day theme and build an AR effect, so that you get a glimpse of how you can make an effect for that particular theme. So what I'm gonna do is, like, I showed you what all, like, you can do with a blank project. You can even, like, there's one more component I would like to show. So you can always add an audio as well. So what you can do is, like, you can go to the bottom left panel, click on plus again. You'll see here the playback controller. So if you'll add the playback controller, you can add the audio playback controller right here. So this, and what you can do is you can import any audio from your system, or you can search the asset library. So I'm gonna just use one audio from the asset library. Okay. Yeah. So I'll reopen it maybe. Yes. So right here you can see, like I talked about the assets, right? There are music and sound that are like predefined and built assets that we have. So right here, if you can see, there are these audios. I am not sure if, like, while me speaking, you can hear the audios, but yeah. So I'm just gonna import one, and now click on play. So these are two properties that you can see. So play will actually play the audio, and loop will play the audio in loop. Like, it's not, if you say you added a 3 seconds audio, then it will play that in loop. So these are basically two, like, very basic properties that we have for audio playback controller. Now you might wonder, why is it not like playing if I, even if I clicked on play, or even if I clicked on loop? So what's happening is, we have added an asset, but we haven't added any object in the scene, right? So if you wanna like use the playback controller, you would wanna have a speaker right here. So I'll add the speaker as an object in the scene. So when I added the speaker as an object, now you'll select the audio playback controller right here, and like, I can hear it, if you can hear it, on loop. So the audio that I've added is getting played on loop. I'm gonna just switch it off so that you're able to hear me. And now we'll quickly move on to using the template. Now, since we started with a blank project, I showed you like how to play around with the face mesh, how you can add an audio. Now we'll make an effect that is actually according to the theme of the hackathon. Like I said, we'll be making one effect on Independence Day. That is the theme, India at the rate 75. So I'll take a template. So right now I'm just gonna use a background template maybe. So when I click on the same, there's one more project that opens up. Okay. So it's basically the same. Right now, what they've did is they have used a canvas. Like, so how this, I'll just give you a brief of how the predefined template, like, how is it showing up in the scene panel right here. So if you can see, there's a canvas and you can see the user and background. So what they've done is they've used two layers, one rectangle inside a canvas. There are two layers. One is the user layer that is right here that got highlighted, and one is the background layer, which is the background that you can see. And with the background layer, they have associated a material right here, if you can see, the background mat. So if I say go on this material and see the texture associated, so the texture that is associated is replace me. What you can do is, I am just gonna, for the background material, if I say don't use, if I just remove this thing, so it will come up blank, I'll delete the replace me background for Aries. And for the background material, I am just gonna change color maybe. So this is like two layers coming up, right? So first is the user layer, and the background is whatever color we are changing right here. So what we can do is we can add a texture on our own to the background material. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new texture, and I'll add demo background texture for that matter. So yeah, right, you can see. So user is like the front layer of this effect, and for the background layer, we have added a texture associated that is like based on our theme, and this is how it will appear on your screens, on your devices. Okay. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add maybe a different object. I'm gonna add a 3D text. Okay. So right here, I've added a 3D text. So you can see, like when I click on 3D text, here how you can place it. So I'll show you. So I find this viewpoint like very convenient, and I use this to actually place it. But here are the positioning, XYZ coordinates, and you can just change these coordinates to position the text wherever you wish like. So right now I'm just gonna place it above right here. Okay. So you can change the text. I am just gonna write India at the rate 75. That is basically our theme. You can place it wherever you wish like. Yeah. So uh again reiterating the same thing. So like we are using a 3D text. So right here you can see the front material associated with this 3D text. You can actually associate side material, back material, and front material. So I'll show you the material associated is material 0, which if I click on here, you can see in the assets panel. We can just rename it text mat. Okay. So when I go to text mat, now what you can do is you can either, okay, so you can either choose, you know, so like the background that we have added, I've added that very background as a texture to this material. So that is one thing that of course you can do, or I can just simply remove it and use a different color. So if I say use India 75 and I just changed it to this, you can change it to any color you wish like. Okay, so this is a 3D text we have added, and we have just associated a color to the same, nothing fancy, like very fancy here. And we can of course like add a front material, side material, or a back material with this very text. So I'm gonna keep it simple. And now what we can do is we can add one more component. So I'll just try, I'm just trying to give a glimpse of the various components or capabilities that it has. Like we started with a blank project, we used face mesh, we added an audio. Now we used a template, we added the background, we added a 3D text. So we've used like 5 components. Now we can add another component, which is like a particle system. So you'll see what a particle system does. We can add an emitter. So right here you can see on my screen this emitter comes up, right? So when I click on this, I'll quickly place it like here. So this has also like various properties that are associated with the same. So right here, what you can do is, if I wanna just keep it as a plane, so you want like particles to come up from your entire screen, I'm gonna just place it right as I want. Okay. So you can of course change the size as well. Just keep it 0.1 maybe. And I'm gonna keep it 0.4. You can actually change it however you wish. Like you can keep it by default as well. Now but the space is like world and local. You can actually like place it however you wish. Like I'm gonna keep it local. And now you this birth rate property, it's like you're gonna see 20 blocks, these blocks basically. So I can actually change it to like 100, and you can see multiple blocks coming up, right? So I'm gonna just keep it 20 itself. And you can change the speed as well if you want to make it slow. So I'm gonna change it to 10.1. And now again, so like we did earlier, I am gonna just add material to it. So this particle, it's like by default is again checkboxes, right? So what I'm gonna do is you can actually change the shape itself, but I'm gonna keep it plain. You can change it to cube, sphere, like whatever you wish like. So I'm gonna keep it plain and add a material with it. So I'm creating a new material. So now you see I created a new material, and the associated material is material 0, right? So material 0, I'll quickly rename it to emitter mat. And right here you can actually choose a texture again. So I am gonna just add a new texture. For this, I'm gonna just use a flag since the theme is like Independence Day. So I'm just gonna use this and place it little above. So you can do it like place it wherever you wish like. I'm gonna keep it at the bottom. Okay. So yeah, I think our our effect is ready. So this is how we can build a basic effect. Now, if there are any questions, I can take them up before we see how we can actually publish the same. So, if there are any questions, feel free to just comment it in the chat box, like in the comment section. Just give me a moment, please. Meanwhile, if there are any questions again, we'll just take a 1 minute pause, and if there are any questions, you can just drop them in the comment section. How to put okay, yeah. So how to put an image in the background? Okay. So, like I showed you, there are two ways basically. If you start with a blank project, I can demonstrate that as well. And say if there is, like, you can use a predefined template. So, like what I did right here. So, here what I did is like, yeah. So, here what I did is I used a template. So, you can use a like template listed here, this template, background template. So what it will show you is like I'll again create it so that it can be more clear. So I have again taken a project with the background template. Yes. So this is what will come up, right? So like I said, so it's like it's using a canvas as the main component, as a parent component, and inside the parent component there are basically two components. So one component is the user, and the other layer is the background. So the user layer is taking your camera. So if you go on to the user, you'll see that it is using camera segmentation as like this person segmentation. So there are two things, like the camera texture and person segmentation. So it's using your camera as the front layer. That is how the user is coming up as the front layer. And background rectangle, it's basically using, like, you can add any texture. So right here, if you go to background, so if I go to background, you can see a material associated, right? A background material. So here, when I go to material background, the associated texture with the same is replace me. So if I say wanna, add a new texture to it, like you said, how to add a background, right? So I want to add, say, I want to add a background as per my wish. So I'm gonna click on new texture. I'll add this as a texture, and you can see. So this is how you can do it. Like, you can add any image as your background. I hope the question is answered for how to add a background. Okay. So if there are no more questions as of now, you can just save it for the end of the session, and I'll show you how you can actually publish your effects. Now, we have covered the part where we are making an effect, and I'll show you how to publish it on, you know, to be used by users on Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. Okay. So right here, so there are two things, right? So here you can publish it. From here there are multiple, options you'll find. If you'll go to the file section here, you'll still see publish right here, or you can go to the bottom right and you'll see the publish button. So you can navigate like whatever seems convenient to you, and go to publish. So right here you can see, so what are the things? So I'm publishing a new effect or I'm updating existing effect. So if there's like this effect I published and I want to maybe edit it, I didn't like the color or I want to change something, then I can update an existing effect, or publish a new effect. Since this is a new effect that I made, so I'm going to publish a new effect. Now you have to actually record a demo video. So there are two things here itself. If say you want to publish it on Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, all the platforms and everything, so you need a demo video for the same. For like Instagram, at least you need a demo video. So right now it's written that it is optional. So if I don't want to record it right now, since my camera is already in use, I won't be able to record. So I'm gonna keep it as is, and I'm just gonna publish it on one platform and show you. But side by side, I'll show you. Like, I'll tell you. If you record a demo video, you can just do it via the record video button here, and the next thing come up is the platform requirements. So that's very important, right? In the beginning I told you about the compression feature, right? So the file size, the ideal size for an effect is it should be 4 MB or less. So if you're say if you haven't compressed your textures, if have there are multiple components that you are using and you haven't compressed those, so it will show you an error right here that the file sizes does not meet the requirements. But here we have compressed it and everything's right, like you can see the green text. So there's nothing that is missing right here. So what you can do is you can either export this file, you can export this effect file, or you can directly upload it. If I directly click on upload, it is gonna just navigate me to Spark Air Hub. Or we can do it the other way, like exporting and going to the Spark Air Hub and importing it there. So we'll just wait for a minute, and it will redirect me to Spark Air Hub in my browser window. So if, like, again, So this is how it will come up. So there is this a like export file that it has already taken when you have uploaded clicked on upload. But if you click on like I've already opened Spark Air Hub and I'm already logged in. So if you go on this, this is the basic homepage that will appear. And if you'll go on publish effect, so again you'll come up to the same screen and you can upload the exported file from there. So right now we have the exported file right here. So we are gonna proceed with this. So the name of the effect, you can just keep it. I am gonna keep it India 75 demo. You can name it whatever you wish like, and like here you can just export this file. We have uploaded it directly from the studio, so it the effect file has directly come up. So here you can choose the platforms, right? Like whatever platforms you want to publish your effects on. So if you want to just publish it on all the platforms, and then you'll see, so like these are, so here the demo video is compulsory. If you wanna maybe publish it on all the platforms, then you definitely need, you can capture a video from here and upload or directly upload. Those are two things. Right now, what I'm gonna do is, since I don't have the demo video handy, I am just gonna publish it on Facebook. Okay. So these are the platforms you can choose. You can publish on any. Now the audience type, you can make your effect link only as well. That is, you can make your effect private. So if I say publish it privately, then I don't need any, you know, any policies, or I don't need to go through a check. But if you want to make your effect public, then of course you can add like a lot more things that we'll discuss. So if you want to keep it public, so we can add the categories. So like you browse right on Instagram, if you want to use an effect, so we search for like a Diwali background or a firecrackers or anything you wish, like a selfie effect you want. So you browse it like that, right? So you can just place it in any categories you wish like. I am gonna keep it like events, since we made this effect. It can be color and light as well. Mm, yeah, I think that's enough. You can choose the categories you wish, like, okay. So I'm gonna keep it color and events, and like color and light and events. And you can additionally add keywords. So what's the use of having like adding keywords and categories? So whenever the user will browse, like the more relevant your keywords are, the more it's like more chances that the user is that your effect is gonna come up like first, or when the user browses it. So right now I'm just gonna keep it blank. Now you can directly choose a file and upload a demo video right here. And what icon does is, right now here, if you see, you can use a video thumbnail. Since I haven't uploaded the video, you can upload an image right here. So I'll upload the flag image itself. So what it does is, I'll just position it. It does is like this icon you can see right on the simulator. So it's gonna give the icon to the effect that you're gonna publish. Now I am just gonna keep it like, since I don't have the video, the demo video handy, I am gonna just click on link only and show you how to actually publish. And then like after post that, we'll see how to make a submission on the reality hack portal on. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just gonna publish it. It might take just some time. Give it a minute. So I'm just saving it and seeing. I think all the required fields that we need have been like filled up, but we'll just wait for a moment to get it saved and maybe then we'll publish it. Yeah. So when I saved it and now I am uploading the export file to publish my effect on Spark Air Hub. So it's gonna get published on Facebook, and since it's a private effect that I've made, so it's link only. So now we'll see like how to make a valid submission. Before that, if again, if there are any questions, I can take them up. Okay. I don't see any questions in the comment section, so I'll just quickly move on to the reskill like dashboard, our Reality Hack 2.0 portal. So I'm already logged in. If like you must have registered for the same, so this is the page that will come up when you register it. So now I'll see there are like three problem statements that we talked about: the superhero challenge, the friendship day challenge, and the India at the rate 75 challenge. So since I made an effect on India 75, I'm gonna click on that, and now I'm gonna just submit my idea. So what are the required fields that you would need? So here I am gonna show you basically two things that are like major. Your Facebook URL you can add, and the effect URL and effect ID that I'll show you how to get those. For the demo video URL, you can simply like whatever demo video you have uploaded on Spark AR Hub, right? When while publishing the effect, you can just upload the same on Drive and give it a link here. Right now I'm just gonna keep it as is, and we'll see about the effect URL and effect ID. So this is when you publish an effect, this is the screen that comes up. Now you can do two things. Like if you want to share it, this is actually the Facebook link, the effect link that you can use from here, or you can go to this and copy the effect. So there are like three things that we need there, right? You can copy the effect ID from here, effect ID. You can go on again to the menu right in the right corner of my screen, if you can see, and copy the owner ID and the effect URL. So like I showed you, you can just get the effect URL right from here. Okay. Or you can get it from here as well if you want to test it on your device. So right now, since I only published it on Facebook, right? So I'm getting this link. This is my effect link basically, and I can use it. So these are like the major things that you would need for your effect submission: the effect URL, the effect ID, and the effect owner ID. It I'll reiterate that it comes up right here when you publish an effect and go to the menu, the three dots here. You can see you can copy the effect ID, owner ID, and you can go to share or test and device to get your effect URL. So these are the major things, and yeah, then uh, you can add the demo video that you have captured. Since I haven't added that, so I'm gonna just skip this part. But yeah, after adding the Facebook profile and the demo video, you can make a valid submission. And guys, you'll see it right here when you'll maybe I'll just add. You don't do it, but I'm gonna just add link here and submit my idea. So please add your actual URL right there. Don't do it like I did. And here you can see the effect has submitted. You have made a valid submission for the hackathon, and you won't get I think a mail right away. if you made a submission, but when you log into your portal, you can see that your effect has been submitted successfully, and you can, of course, within the time period, you within the deadline, you can of course edit your idea again. You can change the links and everything, so that's doable. So that is it. I think I am like, this is more or less what I wanted to share, like how to make an AR effect, a basic one, and then how to publish the same and make a entry in a submission in the Reality Hack portal. So these are the things I wanted to cover, and now if there are any questions again, I can take them up. Okay, so I don't see any questions in the comment section. I hope that everything's very clear then. And you'll all make your submissions today itself. So, like I showed, one of the effects, it's on the themes of on the challenges that we have for Reality Hack 2.0. So, if you want to make it, just replicate the same, revisit the video. You can just, you know, use the same things like I did, and submit that entry. Okay. Askar, are you there? So, lastly, before Askar comes in, I would just like to tell you one more thing. So, like I showed, right, in order to publish an effect for the hackathon, it's like a compulsory thing. You don't have to publish it privately because we won't be able to actually see it, right? So, it's gonna be public itself. That is a mandate. You have to like publish it publicly. You don't have to do it like a link um sorry link only effect. It has to be published publicly. So that's one thing I wanted to share. Now I think that is it. So is if there are any more questions, again, I can take them up. So I think someone asked a question for the deadline, right? So the the last day to register is 29th of September, and submission deadline will roll out soon.
Thank you, Rupal, for a wonderful session. I hope everyone has learned how to create their AR effects and submit their AR effects for the hackathon. We are looking forward to some amazing AR effects. So, everyone, please go back, work on what Rupal has taught you today, create your AR effects, and submit it to the hackathon website. If anyone has any questions, they can post it on the comment section. Rupal is here to answer your queries.
Yes, and for all the ITTTO students as well. So you can reach out to me on the Discord channel that we have, or on the groups that we have. So if you have any doubts, just post it there. I'll be happy to answer.
So I guess there are no more queries now. Thank you, Rupal, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for joining today. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.